me this opportunity to share with you about this most special month, the month of Elul. The month of Elul started sundown the day after the eclipse, which was very interesting. Everybody was all fascinated about the actual event of the eclipse, but it was the timing of the eclipse that really grasped me. And the reason why we share about the month and I'm going to just be sharing certain little nuggets, but the reason why we teach about that is because we want, as the Lord's Prayer says, we want heaven's will to come down to earth. So if we can line up what's going on in the spirit realm and God's kingdom, and if we know those strategies, we can pull it down into our lives and into the very situations. And that's this nugget I'm going to share with you is the king is in the field. And why is that so important? Our example is Abigail. Abigail had a very wicked husband who insulted the king. The king had done good for him. The king had protected him and his men. And then he asked a small thing, and he said no. Abigail's husband said no. And when Abigail heard this insult that her husband, her household, had given to the king, she immediately gathered gifts, gathered things to sustain King David and his army, and she ran to the field with those gifts to intercede on her household's behalf. I had several people ask me last year, and it just came to me while I was thinking about this, how can we repent for somebody else? How does that work? Abigail is our example. She went and she repented on behalf of her wicked husband. Now, it didn't save her husband because his heart was wicked, but what did it do? It saved her household. It elevated her to a place of prominence and honor because King David eventually married Abigail. So this is why why is it so important that the king is in the field? Because once a year he leaves his palace, where there's no protocol. There's nothing that we have to do special to go to him. For lack of a better word, he made himself accessible and common. Just like every other man, just like our Jesus did. He walked on this earth like every other man in the flesh, so that we could know and we could come to him so easily and intercede on our behalf, so we could repent for those in our family, for those of our household, for those in the generations behind us. And I just fell in love with that example. And if you'd want to read more about her, 1 Samuel 25, read about how she went to the field and honored the king for her household.